How do you tell people they've outstayed their welcome without saying, "Hey, you've outstayed your welcome"? Just eyes.
And they be like, what? I'm like, don't you want to go home? And after that, with me, they start feeling the vibe. When I start walking around my own
You
house,
just put it out there.
listen, when I start walking around my own house and treating you like furniture and not saying shit to you, it's time for you to skirt. I don't even care who picking you up. It could be Godzilla.
Like, look, Uber, Lyft, your mama. I don't care. So you gotta go.
When Iron's dad came here last, I picked him up from the airport, and once it got over like the 3 day mark, because it's like 3 days maximum with me with him, I can't. He set up his own Uber to take him to the airport.
I don't care what happens. Look, if you don't have a car, the buses stop running at. You need to make sure you're on the last one.
Ain't even no bus where I am.
Oh,
you better have your apps together. You know what I'm saying?
Well, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Take a Chase Podcast. I'm your host, Leah, joined this week by Shan of She Gets It Podcast, Cozy Womb Pod. What page we on, Ben? Like, you are rocking it in the podcast world. And I am so excited to be able to call you my podcast friend. Like, you my family girl.
Yeah.
It's amazing seeing how much work you actually do because you have a passion for it. You really love it. And all your content is just really good. You don't really put out like just throw away content. I know you work really hard at that. So that's what I appreciate.
Thank you. I don't know. I just love giving people information they can use. So when it comes to like Cozy Womb Podcast, like I'm gonna tell you the real about parenting. And not everybody needs to be a parent, and that's okay.
That's okay.
When it comes to She Gets a Podcast, it's just like what's like what you said, burning a hole in me today. And I just like dive into it because my head is big like a pit bull, but it doesn't mean I want to fill it with information. I want to give y'all some. So I share it. So that's when I came up with that episode about the Good Dads Only app that people have been really loving. And so what Patreon Bed is a on-the-go book club. Me and two of my friends, we want to read more. So we decided to pick a book every season and like devour it, talk about it, and then talk about us adulting and shit. Loudmouth Stereo, I do that with Greg from the Young Black and Bothered. We do that on the Stereo app every Wednesday and Saturday. And then I added another show, The Real Relationship Rapport with Dungeon, aka Jay, Stereo, so that we just tackle relationship shit that happens in society. But yeah, that's all that I'm doing for right now. The girl is booked and busy.
Wow. Well, thank you for stopping by my humble show and wanted to chat. We talked about it, especially with the state of the world and where we are. So we are like almost a year and a half into being in kind of quarantine a little bit, still kind of sort of vaccines are going out. Herd immunity seems kind of far-fetched at this point because some people are not getting the vaccine. But one of the things that we talked about was look. One of the things we talked about was being home all the time and kind of being not cut off from the world, but like not paying attention to the news. And when we say news, CNN, NBC, Fox News, whatever you name it, staying in the know of what's going on, whether locally, nationally, internationally, whatever. You said that you kind of stay away from the news, and can you tell me a little bit about why?
So I want to say about 2 years ago, I just decided, like, why am I watching the news? What am I getting from the news? Is it making me smarter? Is it making me come with solutions for the life that I live? Am I primarily just watching the news for the weather? Yes. Because I treat the news just like I treat the New York Times. It's very thick. It has different sections, but I feel like that's one side of the story in order to catch the reader. I want to know about the shit that's not in the newspaper. I want to know about the news that they're not talking about. Because for me, it does no benefit to sit, old people sit and watch the news for hours and they repeat the same thing. That's when your mama call you and she be like, it's gonna be hot today, and yeah. What's the temperature? Like, ma'am, who cares? What's up? What are your vitals like? You know what I'm saying? What that sugar looking like? Like, let's talk. Like, the weather has nothing to do with how you live your life. You know what I'm saying? So once I was like, I don't need to hear about, this person being choked out for 100 times for me to understand that people still hate us because of the skin we were brought into this world in. I don't need to watch this person being shot. Even when it comes down to social media, sometimes certain media pages and platforms and website, I'm not into. Like, World Star ain't nothing but a whole bunch of negativity, ignorance that they want people to see, share, and push out. Right. What is it bringing about solutions? No. Even down to this vaccine. I don't like people talking about shit, arguing about shit, and at the end of the conversation, we leave with nothing to fix the shit. If there is no solutions to what you're going to talk to me about, what you're mad at, what you're arguing about, to me, all that is a vent. You're not looking for help. You're not bringing about solutions. Everybody that brings about something that could possibly be done, you shoot them down because you're just in this negative troll space of, I want to be mad. I want to be upset. I don't want help right now. I just want to yell or do whatever. That's cool, but that's called venting. That's not called the news.
Girl, I think it's a like you mentioned, generational thing, because we have so many other ways to get the happenings of what's going on, that watching the news or reading even certain articles and papers now, people are so, like, journalists are so worried about being first that they're not worried about being right. And so the information, so we take it back to the Jussie Smollett situation, where every day there was something new that came out that proved and then disproved and then proved and then disproved.
He still ain't give us no answers.
Yeah. So it's like, so there's, for me, like you said, I really want to know, what is the agenda? So are you telling me that they're still writing in the Pacific Northwest to say that we need to send in the military so that it's justified? Or are you saying that there are still certain places that the whole states, rather, like, we just did a drive from Texas to North Carolina, and we had to drive through Mississippi, and the sheer panic in some of the people's voices that I talked to, they were like, don't stop when you get to Mississippi, don't stop. And I'm just like, listen, but have you been? So I'm not saying that it's not bad, but racism, hatred, prejudice, it's everywhere. It's run rampant everywhere. Now, in some places it's worse than others, but the news pushes it. When I talked to a friend of mine and I said, I really want to move to Seattle. That's where I want to settle down. And their thing was, because they watched Fox News, was just, in Seattle. Oh my, Yeah, I know, right? and he said that he would stay up there for a little bit. I'm like, okay, but Seattle is where I really want to settle down, and people are. And some of the people who I talked to, more conservative, were saying, "Oh, they're all liberals, and they keep rioting, and they're burning down their businesses, and they have this and they have that." And I'm like, "Have you been there, or are you just going off of what the news is giving you?" Yeah. And I think that's what social media offers, as opposed to watching the news every day. You get to see, like, if I want to know what's going on in certain areas, I can literally open up Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever, type in that location and see what's happening in the area, and get firsthand accounts of what the pulse is of that area. But when we watch the news, it's all this fear mongering, or to make you feel guilty, to move you to panic buy, or like even the way they talked about the gas shortage. There wasn't a gas shortage until people started hoarding gas.
Putting gas in bags, putting gas in their dirty clothes hampers, putting gas in all their Tupperware. Fuck the food this week. We about to get this gas.
I'm just like, so, like, people, first of all, one thing that I know about the United States of America, we're not good in, if anything were to happen, so many people just wouldn't make it. We're not good in an emergency. When the pandemic started, hoarding paper towels and toilet paper.
I still can't find my paper towel or my toilet paper, or let alone some Lysol around this hoe. And then to me, I feel like the United States has the audacity to have military that goes into other countries to regulate your shit. It's kind of like someone bringing their badass kids into a store or a restaurant, and they over there trying to man somebody else's child for doing something. Get your badass kids over there. Get your shit in order. And if you can't get your shit in order, stay in the house. And the house being your country. If you can't get your country in order, stay in that shit.
Because we couldn't even agree on wearing masks. We couldn't agree on staying in the house. We can't agree on whether or not to get the vaccine or not get the vaccine, or what people should be protected or what people shouldn't be protected, and if we're going to help people who are immigrating here, or if we're not going to help them. Like, there's so many things that universal health care, we can't agree on it. We tie healthcare to jobs and stuff like that. And so it's just like, when I watch, whether it's the left news or the right news, whatever it is, and it makes me feel like, okay, why are they giving me this information in this way?
Right.
Why are they saying that this person, that there's no redeeming qualities about this person, but this person should be upheld to like the highest honor? And it's just like, I want people to think more critically about the information that they take in, like critical consumers of information, as opposed to just consuming information and then spitting it out. And just, Fox News said, Alex Jones said, Colbert said, well, Trevor Noah said, and not to say that none of those people have ever done research ever, but it feels like there's not an unbiased delivery of the news.
Because there's always something. People don't want to think here. People want to be lazy, and they want to be like, this is this. Da, 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 da. Did you hear? This is this. This is da, da, da. All right. So let's go da, 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 because they told us to da, 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 da. Where's your brain? Like, why don't you ask questions about the information you're being fed?
Right.
It's just like doctors. doctors are supposed to help us. Doctors are supposed to make our kids feel better and give us recommendations. But that same doctor on their 15-minute break is going outside and they're smoking a cigarette. You have to think for yourself. Everybody has cons and something that they want to portray, and they want to tell you where you're wrong, but they're also doing wrong too. So do your research.
And I feel like people expect that they shouldn't have to do research because those people who are the news anchors or whatever have done the research for them. And it's like we have access to firsthand accounts. We have access to information that even if you don't know, you know what questions you want to ask. Like, explain to me why. Explain to me how. What effect is this going to have? Like when they talked about I forgot what it was. It was Fox News had to do some backpedaling about because they said that like Biden's bill was going to strip everybody of their meat eating privileges. So they would only be able to eat steak, like some ridiculous, like 6 ounces every 2 weeks or something like that. And they're like, oh, wait, no, just kidding. That was a possibility that was brought out of another paper that we read. And that was a mistake on our part. And I'm just like, but you deliver the news like that every day.
I was about to say, when I want my meat, I get my meat.
But his proposal had nothing to do with cutting back on how much consumption. Like it was just about figuring out what is the best way, especially with the Green New Deal, what is the best way that we can kind of help decrease climate change, like its effects. And people were just like, oh, he said we can't have meat anymore because we're not going to have any more cow farms or whatever.
Let me tell you something.
It's just ridiculous.
If the United States took a 3-month break from meat, I think people will be less angry and hostile. And they'll actually get like a realization that, oh yeah, I don't need that shit. It's okay sometimes, but I don't need it. I was just in Walmart. I just came from Walmart. And I looked around the hole and I said, okay, if I was last minute and I was hungry, what are the healthy options around me to get at the register? Sugar, salt, sugar, salt, sugar, sugar, sugar.
Yeah.
Liquid sugar, sugar, salt, sugar, sugar, sugar.
Those are all panic buys. Yeah. They're like, oh, not panic buys, impulse buys.
Companies know that Americans are addicted and have addicted personalities, and they will grab whatever they assume their body is feeding for. When the reality is companies just know Americans like sugar and salt. Put sugar and salt. Put more in it. Oh, okay. Put more in. Put it in a bright packaging and put it on the shelf. They're gonna love it.
You're like fresh produce. What's that?
And then you go to other countries as a American, and they look at you in disgust because, hello, we eat the most disgusting things and the most harmful things that go in our bodies, and then we go to other places and they don't respect us, and then we get to a point where we're like, ooh, this doesn't have any taste. It does have taste. It's the real taste. It's the real food, and it's not manipulated, and that's what it actually tastes like. You were eating a lot of salt and sugar before. That's why you don't like it.
There was I was watching this Irish channel, and they were talking about eating sweets from America, from the United States, and just to see these adults eat 3 pieces. They had Jolly Ranchers, Airheads, and I forgot what other kind of I think it was Sour Patch Kids, something like that. And I don't know what the time lapse was, but to see them actively have a sugar rush, I was just like, ooh, okay, so either y'all really don't have sugar or we just have loads more. Like, what is happening?
Right.
They're just like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get a headache later. They're down in water. It's madness. That made me understand how how food companies are purposely making sure that they feed us certain things so that we make sure we have cravings. And it takes actively, purposely, intentionally changing our minds in what we buy, what we consume.
Yeah.
Because who says, man, I really want an apple.
Me in the summertime.
I really want some grapes. I really want to eat some broccoli. Like I more so crave like the green leafy vegetables than fruit.
Listen, I will drive 45 minutes for a harvest salad at Sprouts. See, and all that is blue cheese, arugula, purple onions, and candied pecans, and that's it.
That's it. How do you
listen?
It tastes like foliage.
I don't like arugula in any other salad, but that harvest salad though.
Give me romaine lettuce and baby spinach. I'll be okay.
Oh, hell no. Baby spinach. Oh, that's so soft. I just really wanted to rub it on my face. This is a soft ass salad.
If I can't have romaine, like romaine hearts, then I'll just have baby spinach.
I'm a spinach girl.
Like I do like the red lettuce, but I need to arugula. Oh no! It tastes like foliage. I'm just like, y'all. This feels so rough. Like it's supposed to be exfoliating my face. I don't know how you're eating this. This is no, but no. It's when because I had vegetables and fruits. First of all, don't immediately do that. Make sure you balance out the protein. Don't just immediately go off of meat. I did vegetables and fruits. It's not even that I passed out. I had a major headache from the withdrawal, like because I wasn't replacing the protein. And so I had a terrible migraine for like 3 days because I didn't replace the protein until I was like, okay, let me figure out what foods to eat to balance the protein since I don't have meat in my diet anymore. And did that for like 3 weeks. And because your taste buds change every 2 weeks. So sometimes when you get those cravings really strong or whatever, you got to check and make sure, hey, am I getting these cravings because this is what I really want? Or am I taste
Girl, that's what got me on this parasite cleanse. I'm doing a parasite cleanse.
What's a parasite cleanse?
It's basically some liquid droplets of different herbs that clears the body of any parasites that's found in like your food or your meat that's sitting in your body and that's either making you bloated, making you crave sugar, and a whole bunch of other things. And I've been taking that, dropping that in my tea and my grapefruit juice so I don't taste it. And I haven't craved candy in about 10 days. And I haven't bought any candy. I have 3 big candy jars in my house. I haven't been in there. There was a pack of half-eaten M&Ms in one of my handbags that I wanted to use, and I did sniff the package before putting it in the candy jar. You know what I'm saying? I had a little losing Isaiah Halle Berry moment. Where she sniffed the crack pipe before she threw it away. Yes, I sniffed that shit. And I put it in the candy jar. I do miss chocolate. But yeah, I've been refraining from the candy because I've only gone 3 months without candy in my life, and I am
like all at once or total.
Like no candy, no sugar. I've only gone 3 months of my life, and I will be 34 in 2 weeks. And I can't tell you why I eat the candy. It's just a part of my day. It's a part of my everyday. And I just feel like it's okay for me to eat it. But at the same time, I have children. What's so funny is, unlike my mother, I have my kids on a candy day. And their candy day, they get 1 piece of candy, and it's only on Fridays, once a week. I never had those limits. I had an aunt that had a candy store, and when I would go to Philly before I left, she would tell me just go back there and take what I want. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. And that's exactly what I did. I had no boundaries. My kids have boundaries. I've never had any boundaries. So I just went ham. And it's just been a thing. But I'm getting older, and I've always wondered, why am I not a diabetic? My mom's a diabetic. Why do I not have any problems, medically, when it comes to like my blood sugar or any thyroid issue or heart issues or anything like that? I'm okay. But who's to say I'm going to be okay all the time?
Right. Because, things could change 5 years from now, a year from now, tomorrow. I used to wonder the same thing because I had the biggest sweet tooth.
Girl.
And it only got worse during the pandemic. Oh my gosh, it only got worse. So I'm trying to work on boundaries with that and kind of refrain and seeing where I can replace it instead of having all these refined sugary sweets.
Girl, I even got chlorophyll in my water.
I have good weeks. I have not so good weeks, honestly. But I'm really working on making sure that the foods that I eat make me feel good.
Yeah.
Because if I'm eating like Skittles or hot tamales or like pretty much I eat candy typically for the nostalgia and for the sugar rush. Like, honestly, that's all it is. Like, it's just like, oh man, I used to have this when we used to do this, blah blah blah. But
Bubba Jug, my shit. You can tell me I wasn't drinking pink. Yes.
What is
tell me I wasn't
Jug?
drinking. It's cut up little squares of bubble gum, but it's in this jug that looks like gasoline, and you basically pour it in your mouth. Just pour it in your mouth. And I would just down that thing, and I'm chewing like this huge, big bubble spitball. And then my dad, every Sunday after church would go play the lottery. And he would take me and my youngest brother. He'd like pick 2 pieces of candy. I would get a Mamba before they had the sour Mamba, regular Mamba, and a bubble jug. Or I would get the Ouch bubble gum, or the Laffy Taffy with the fake seeds in it, if it was watermelon, or the sprinkles on top. You couldn't tell me my mouth wasn't the juiciest. My mouth has always been juicy.
I can't with you. I can't.
My lips have been hated by exes and girlfriends, but
girl,
delicious.
I can't even with you. No, because even then I would. I'm trying to think. I know because we had a penny candy store up the street from where I went to high school.
Love them. Treasures.
And I miss the penny candy stores.
I risked my life multiple times for a candy store, especially in Philly, crossing big intersections, and I was very short for now laters because they're fucking delicious. And that penny,
but I would not eat
penny candy store. Basically the crossing guard was only there for a certain amount of time, and if you're past that time, she gonna dip and she gonna go home. And my brother would never wait on me, so I would have to leave school, run to the candy store, tell them to fill up my brown bag, and then try to like run to the big intersection, and she would be gone, and it would be like Frogger, risking my life.
No, I can't with you. I'm glad I never was in that position. But going to like candy was just associated with so many activities that whether we're going to the movies, going on a road trip, watching a game, whatever it was, like it was associated with it. So it's like learning how to replace those because it was either sunflower seeds or candy. One of the
sunflower seeds, I like them because they made my lips big and numb.
No, it just my lips be so raw. I mean, because I used to get when I was younger, I would have a bottle of Sprite and David's Ranch sunflower seeds, and I would not know. I didn't switch to water until I got a little bit older. I think I was already out of high school, when I realized that maybe I should be drinking water instead of Sprite.
Yeah.
One thing I really try to do, and I've been doing a lot better, especially in the recent months, is just really what's making me feel good, not just what tastes good, not the fried foods and all that, not just those, like what makes you actually feel good. Like, oh snap, like I ate some, what do I eat? I like apples or pineapples, and I don't eat a lot of pineapples anymore because those be eating
Listen,
eating
if
my
you
lip.
eat too many pineapples, you could burn
It does.
your lips in your mouth.
I mean, it just starts. The enzymes just start.
Yeah.
So I have to drink more water with my pineapples. But having like I can't really do oranges because if I have too many oranges, I can do cuties all day long. Too many oranges, I will absolutely break out. But because it's too much citrus. Strong. But if I'm having apples, if I'm having like I feel more awake. So instead of like doing coffee, because I don't drink coffee anyway, but like in the morning, I'll have apples and I feel like pretty awake and not sluggish or anything, as opposed to eating like a full potatoes, grits, eggs, biscuit, even though that's like my go-to breakfast. Having an apple in the morning, I'll be like, oh, yes, I'm awake and ready. And I'm not like, I'm decently full for like an hour or so, and then I can have like something else. So I try to make sure that that whatever I'm eating is going to make me feel not just full or feel whatever, but I just want to feel good after I eat it. Like, oh, I feel hydrated, or oh, like I feel like, I feel pretty good. I feel awake. I'm not sluggish. I'm not this or whatever. Like I just want to be able to feel good after I eat something.
What makes me feel good, like Holly Berry and Monsters Ball? Just options of fruit. Like
I just played the scene, just like
when it comes to like food.
I'm not dealing with shit. I don't understand.
Listen.
Okay. All right. I'm back.
Popsicles. My freezer is like my safe.
You stay eating push pops and popsicles.
Listen, sorbet, those outshine real fruit things. Talentis. I just like things that make me feel good also. Like coffee does nothing for me. It just makes my insides warm. So does he. But if it's not candy, it has to be some fruit. And I'm a mango girl. I'm a watermelon girl. If it's sweet, I like peaches. I like pineapple. Like
yellow peach or white peach?
What the hell is a white peach?
They have yellow peaches and white peaches.
I like
so they have the yellow peaches are more the soft ones, and then the white peaches are more hard.
Well, the ones I get them in the container, the glass jar.
Oh, they're already sliced.
Yeah, so they are already pretty juicy.
I need the fresh peaches.
No, I don't like fresh peaches because I never know when they're ready. I don't like them hard, and I don't like them super soft.
Oh, too mushy. Yeah.
That
is an art. That is.
I'm not there
picking
yet.
out fresh fruit is an art.
Yeah. My mom would be like, this is how you know that you get a good avocado. I'm just like, fuck that. I don't even like them like that. And for my blood type, I'm not supposed to eat them.
I'm allergic to avocado. It sucks. See? I mean, I just started eating avocado. And I'm like,
what's your blood type? You know your blood type?
I
don't. Look up, once you find your blood type, look up the foods you're supposed to eat and the foods you're supposed to avoid, and you'll be very surprised.
You know what? Somebody told me that like 2 years ago. I still haven't figured out what blood type is. I don't really know where to go to get it where I don't have to pay for it. Yeah. But
next time you go to the doctor, ask them.
Well, I was gonna go to a blood drive, but my iron is never where it should be for me to get blood. So yeah. But that's what made me pay attention to somebody was one lady said that she can't eat poultry because her blood type doesn't her blood type portfolio told her that she doesn't process it well. So she's always like there was always inflammation or sluggishness or whatever. And she was like, oh wow. So she took poultry out of her diet and she feels much better. Like her swelling went down. I was like, oh wow, okay. So that's what made me pay attention to what I consume because I can tell like if I'm okay, if I eat this, am I going to be sluggish? Like, is this something that is going to essentially hydrate and nourish me, or am I just eating this because of the emotional attachment to it?
Yeah. Like, you know, when black folk be like, oh, I got the itis. You're not supposed to consume food to the point of your body not being able to get up and take your ass home.
No,
but we are so conditioned to eat like that.
Yes, I'm gonna eat this plate and I'm gonna go ahead and curl up right on this couch. Let me take my shoes off. Give me the nap blanket. I want the good nap blanket. Okay. Give me the good nap blanket. Y'all keep talking. I'm gonna wake up in about 40 minutes. My body needs to shut down so it can process all of the food.
Listen, it's gonna take you 2 weeks to process that Sunday's best. Like what? Like even for me, like I've done for Thanksgiving. I understand my mother so much now.
Like, and I saw you last year. It wasn't French hen, it wasn't Cornish hens. You made oxtails last year, right?
I made oxtails. I did a turkey and sweet potato souffle that my kids hate, and I love it. All that for me. And what else did I have? I don't know what else I have. I don't like having a whole bunch of the food that I cooked a day ago in my fridge. Somebody eat it. And I just can't. My mom was here for like 3 weeks. My fridge was never empty. I'm just like, Mom, why are you still cooking? Look at all this food that needs to be eaten. I only have so many pieces of Tupperware. Stop. Right now, I'm still trying to finish her curry chicken that she made. I drove the woman home to Florida, ma'am. And then I don't keep seeing random plastic pieces of container in my kitchen. I'm just like, why is she saving trash?
No. I don't do leftovers very well. Day old. I'm trying to think. Almost day old anything. I just can't. Like that. I don't want to cook 4 times a day, 3 times a day. But I don't want to eat leftovers either.
Girl, everything high when my mom come around. Everything. My water bill, forget it. She watered my plants outside like they was family members.
She out there talking to it. Yeah, so we're gonna start. Go ahead, start a service and let me just rub you down. It's okay.
Give you some fertilizer. FaceTime her today. Did you water the plants, ma'am?
You watered it enough for the next 6 months.
My water bill's in the hundreds. Thanks.
Oh God.
Thanks.
That's why I don't. Well, the only plants that I have here are the ones that decided to randomly grow. I'm like, oh, I don't know why I have the hiccups. Oh, it's a plant that just happened to grow. Okay.
Girl, it's hit or miss with me. The only plant that I've killed in my possession is that bougie ass palm that cost me $26.
If you know that you cannot keep plants alive, why don't you get a succulent?
No, that's the only plant that I have. I have like 17 plants, and like 15 of them are in the house, and the rest are on the outside. Like I have a lot of plants, but that palm can go the fuck to hell. You know what I could have done with $25? Never.
It'd probably be at the penny candy store, buying out the store.
Right now, no. The penny candy stores today are rare.
But thank you so much, Shan, for being with me today. Having great conversation as always. I love and appreciate you. Please tell people where they can find you.
You could find me in the trap. No, I'm lying. I do not live in the trap. That is not my life. That's not my lifestyle. You can find me at She Gets It Pod on IG and Twitter. You can find me at www.whoisshan.com. You can find me at Cozy Moon Pod. If you left the meat in too long, now you have siblings and kids and things like that. And you can find me at She Gets It Pod at gmail.com. I'm always on the internet doing something. I post a lot. You can't miss me. I'm always pushing somebody else's show or pushing one of my shows. And if you're looking for some good news with melanin in it, try blacknews.com. They're always pushing what great things Black people are doing that the news on your TV is not. And, don't be afraid to talk to, your people that you find interesting that actually have something constructive to talk about and not just, they shot another Black man yesterday. We running out of chicken. Master, know you eating chicken. Like, come on. Like, we have to do better. We have to do better.
I tried to hold it together. I'm not, no. Mm-mm. I tried to hold it. I can't even with you, Shan. I can't. This is the kind of foolery that you get messing with Shan. But the good thing is, regardless of how much foolishness there is, there's always something to take away. That's one thing that I absolutely appreciate about your show. I love the back and forth that you have with Greg and the in-depth conversations that you have on all of your shows. Like I said, quality content all the way around. There's not a single episode that I have heard that are just throwaway episodes or that's just posting just to post. Whenever Shan talks, it's because Shan has something to say, and it's typically helpful, if not for you, for somebody next to you. So thank you so much for being on the show again. I have been your host, Leah. Please make sure you follow us at Take Up Space Pod. That's Take Up Space POD on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, make sure you follow us on YouTube at championsofdiscourse.com. Sorry, Champions of Discourse on YouTube. You can find us at championsofdiscourse.com as well. We'll be back Thursday for the live. Hopefully, Shan will be back. So we'll see you on the live, Facebook and YouTube at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. And y'all have a good one. Thanks.
Bye.